Peace and blessings be upon all my young men and gentlemen today. Welcome to another video on the channel. Just before we start, just want to go ahead and remind all of you, if you enjoy the content I'm producing for all of you guys, just go ahead, drop a subscribe, hit the like button, share it with people that you may think will benefit from this video. Let's jump into today's topic. So, today I wanted to talk to you guys about men and emotion and how they go hand in hand. You know, you try to think, men, we have to be tough guys, or men, we have to not show emotions, men don't cry, and stuff like this. But that's not necessarily true. Because, of course, we have emotions. Of course, we feel sad, we feel happy, we feel gratitude, we feel betrayed. We have these emotions. But it's whether you become, it all depends on how you use those emotions, right? Because feeling emotions is a great thing. It sort of tells you you're alive, you're a human being, I guess, you know. You ain't just cold, you ain't desensitized, you ain't just got like some rock heart. So it's like feeling emotion is a great thing, it's a beautiful thing. But it's making sure you use those emotions in the right way. Now, there's so many times where, you know, someone may say something to you and you know, in a way you would think it's either disrespectful or they're just outright rude or wherever it may be. And you decide to get emotional and react, right? Which isn't the best way to deal with situations most of the time. You know, if someone's there gonna speak to you with a foul mouth, is it worth you replying to them? If their breath stinks, would you reply to them? If their armpits stink, would you reply to them? Do you know what I mean? Like, these things about these people, if they have bad thoughts, they have a bad mouth, whatever it may be about their character, is it worth replying to them? So it all comes down to understanding your emotions. This is very important. You have to understand your emotions and how they affect what you do and what you think and what you say, right? Because you just genuinely have to understand how to use them in the correct way. And don't ever let them stop you from doing what it is you're supposed to do. Because you have a goal, you need to go do it. Now, some emotions may be like, you know, like if you needed to get a project done and there was a certain person there that you really hated or you didn't like, or, you know, I don't get along with this person. That's where you still have to show up and you still have to do the work. That's where you sort of like put that emotion down and you get the work done. That's just what a lot of great leaders do. What most of the great men have done in history is, you know, you don't have to necessarily, there's a thing today I noticed where it's like we all have to have the same thoughts, we all have to speak the same way, which isn't necessarily true. End of the day, all that needs to happen is, here's the goal. We are the people that are going to achieve that goal. Are we going to achieve it? Or are we going to be petty? Are we going to be petty about, oh, you know, he said this about me, or I don't like how he thinks this way, or he thinks that way, or she thinks that way. It's petty. It's very petty. As a man, especially as a man who wants to be on his purpose, who wants to be a leader in his life, and just in general, in his life. That's the main thing. You should want to be a leader in your own life, leading your own life. Okay? You should be able to, when something happens, which brings out an emotional response, which should bring out an emotional response in you, or that would bring out an emotional response from you, you take a second, think, okay, let me think logically about this, rationally about this. Think about the rational, logical next step to take and put it into action, and then go from there. Now, a lot of the times when someone comes and tries to make you emotional, or you become emotional by being in certain situations, it is always better to let the first wave of emotions go first. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever been in a situation where something's happened, someone's annoyed you, someone's upset you, something's gone on? You're emotional, you've gotten emotional, and you decided to act and react upon that emotion. Do you not, maybe like an hour, maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours later, you think, damn, I should have said this, or I should have done that instead? That's what happens when you don't allow that first wave of emotion to go by first. Because it hasn't settled within you yet. It hasn't settled. You're just riled up. You're riled up in any way. It could be anger or sadness, whatever it is. You're riled up. Your emotions are riled up. Everything's settled down. Once everything's settled down, then it's like, okay, you can do the next step. Of course, there are some situations where you need to act on impulse. But in today's age and society, there's not really anything that needs to be acted upon on impulse, I would say. You do have time to sit there, reflect, think, go ahead. I'm not saying take a whole week to think. It shouldn't take you a whole week to think about what your next action should be. But just the main thing is wait. Take your time. You need to be emotionally superior. Because if you're a person that's going to be on his purpose, or is going to be a leader in his life, who may lead his own family, like, if you become a father, you're the leader of your flock. You need to be able to hold these things down. You need to be emotionally you need to have control over your emotions. Fundamental rule. So it's not just, the age-old rule, age-old saying of, only women are emotional. Yes, women are more emotional. That's just because of the roles that they play. They have to be more emotional because of the role that they play in society, in a traditional society, which would be becoming mothers, and they would have to have that sort of emotion towards their children because they have to be nurturing and caring in X, Y, Z. Whereas men have to be able to make critical decisions because of, again, talking traditionally. You don't see it much these days, but even still these days, CEOs, high businessmen, they have to have critical decision making and not let emotion get in their way. Like, oh no, he's my friend, I can't do that. Or I'm going to do this based on a feeling that I have. I'm going to make this decision based on a feeling that I have. That isn't necessarily what men should be doing. It should be based on facts, logic, and rationale. So if there's anything you guys can take away from today's video, it's essentially just, don't just think that men aren't emotional. You are emotional. Don't try and bottle up your emotions. Try and understand your emotions. Try and understand yourself. You are the main character in your story. You need to understand what's going on. It's not going to be an overnight thing. You're going to learn about yourself. It's a beautiful thing. You start learning about yourself. Oh my God, I feel this way when someone does this. I feel that way. But you need to know why. Like, you need to understand if someone's, for instance, just saying he's just nitpicking at your character or nitpicking on things that you do, and not allowing someone like that to get through to you. Not allowing that person to get to you, and if anything, repel that which is evil with good, right? So just really understand yourself. That's one of the most important things I guess I want you guys to walk away with today, is understand yourself, understand your emotions, understand why you feel that certain way. And believe you me, you will come out being one hell of a man. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, to remind you all, if you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the video. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link down below. And then I'll see you guys later.